Greetings, welcome to Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center. I am Aurora. Today we're going into what is time travel. To understand time travel, we need to understand that one, time is existence only within the third dimension of Earth. There is no time outside of the earthly construct. Within time-space continuance, there are many outcomes to your thoughts, your decisions. Visualize them like bubbles of spaces of ideas that are continuing on. You are constantly creating time travel. You are a time traveler. Your body is the time machine. When you are going to be 80, whether you're going to be 40 or 10 years old, you'll be able to communicate from your vessel through all the time space that your body is within. The minute you're born, you create your vessel, you're a baby, you're an infant. How does that vessel create? It creates by the DNA that is planted into the seed and the sperm. And this DNA is going to carry all that you are, your soul, your consciousness. As this DNA grows into an embryo, then an infant that is being born, it has created you a vessel, which is your time traveling machine. You can time travel to all the different days that you are from past and future. It depends if you have a line to what you're trying to achieve. So let's just look at something very simple. Your smell is one of your 7 senses. It is also a clair, which is your clairalience. It is found within one of your glands inside your brain, the third eye, which is your hypothalamus. This hypothalamus is a form that it can assist you to time travel. Say you had a grandmother and she loved to make carrot cake for you when you were little and you love the smell. You could recognize it anywhere. If you are at a restaurant, if you're passing by a bakery, you can smell the carrot cake smell. And what does it do? It instantly brings you back to that time space where you were there with your grandmother, and you are there in that second. All you have to do is use your senses, your feeling, your hearing, your seeing, your emotions, your smell, your touch. All of these senses work with your neurological system that connects you to different time spaces. Now with that there's also time paradoxes. Time paradoxes are the different forms and ideas and choices that you have made or even thought about. But ultimately, there's always a divine time that you are going to achieve. I will use this beautiful stone as an example of 2 time paradoxes. There's many different rocks within the stone formations. What happens is, what if you started off back here and you started climbing some of these little stones and you realize you're here but you can't quite reach this one? You're going to have to reverse back down and start all over again. You're going to have to look at it from another angle, which goes into the theory of relativity, which we'll cover in another video. So then you have to go from another perspective. Then perhaps you go to the other side of this stone and then you realize, oh, this is the way I was meant to go. And then you finally reach the top. Time paradoxes is what creates different outcomes, whether you went from this side, or from behind. They create different timelines. Does that mean that this outcome here is non-existence through that timeline and that time travel? It is not. It still became a outcome and decision that you made. But ultimately, this decision also needed to happen within that time paradox for you to find and come to the conclusion that you needed to go this angle through this theory of relativity up to reach the top. All you have to do is connect to the different senses that you're having within that time and space. Especially like the easiest would be the past, because since we are in a time-space construct on Earth, it's already happened, so you're able to tap into that memory. Memories are also a way to time travel. When you think of that memory, it brings you back to that time space. Paying attention to those memories, what is that memory trying to tell you? Is there something that you need to work in the past that you haven't worked on? Then there is also the future timelines, which gets convoluted because there's the time paradoxes and all the different thoughts and all the different versions of you. The way that you can see it is like there's a you here, but then there's also other fractals, essences of you that are walking that time-space continuance. It's that you have the capability to time travel through your brain. Your brain has all the different glands, the thalamus gland, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, on and on. All these different glands articulate both your construct that you're having within Earth and also brings you to the outside environment that's in universe and multiverse. This is also where you could tap into the other versions of you that are in the higher dimensions, understanding that maybe we're not going to be able to time travel like a Terminator because we don't have time traveling machines like that. But really honing in on our vessels and understanding that our brain and consciousness are constantly bringing us back and forth through time. Use those organic tools within you. They're waiting to talk to you to help you access this memory of who you are and who you will be and who you are now. Add your questions below in comments and I'll ensure to answer them next time.